Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
Okay, I've got something a little different to talk about today. It's not
It's
quite
not
so
Andor?
Andor based, but
Okay.
I think it's really kind of interesting. Star Wars, they've released now the official cover for Star Wars The Last Order. It's an upcoming book that comes out October 21st. It is the first story, the first major anything set after the rise of Skywalker.
Oh boy.
Yes, this is coming from, he's a best-selling author. He wrote some stories, I believe, from the A Certain Point of View novel, Kwame Mbalia. It's an upcoming young adult novel, so it's kind of be
Oh.
more along the lines of like Lost Stars.
No, it won't. No
I'm
offense to him. I'm
that's
sure it's a
that's
fine story, but I
that's
mean,
the genre though. Is
Yeah,
Lost
but
Stars is young adult.
Lost Stars was really good.
We don't know if this is going to be really good. You
I,
haven't
again,
read it
I
yet.
don't want to
You could
be
come out of this and be like,
pessimistic.
"This is the greatest thing ever.
It could be.
This saved the sequel trilogy."
He's got quite a task in front of him. I kind of pity him because nobody, well, not nobody. There's people who love the sequels, as we talked about,
I mean,
but
other things in that genre would be what Leia, Princess of Alderaan. That's
sure.
a young adult novel
Yeah,
as well.
my only point is that it is not exactly the most anticipated time period by many fans, right? So he has a tall
Right,
task
he's
ahead
got
of
an
him.
uphill battle.
Yes.
But I'm very interested because, like I said, this is our first thing continuing on after Rise of Skywalker. The story is going to be following Finn and Jannah as they track down a group of people who were kidnapped by the remnants of the First Order. They're going to be like dealing with their past as stormtroopers because obviously they were both stormtroopers who broke away from the Empire. That we also believe are both all the like ones who broke away seem to be maybe force sensitive.
So are we to assume this will kind of allude to what Finn does next? Like, is he going to tell Rey about his force powers like he tried to do in the Rise of Skywalker and never did? Is he going to embrace them? And I mean, I know that's not what the story is about, but certainly that is the interesting question, isn't it?
And Palia did an interview with Collider, kind of talking about how he feels about the characters he's writing for, going through the new chapter of Star Wars, I suppose you could
We're
call
starting
it.
a new era, essentially, yeah.
He said, being able to work with Finn, who I think, if I had to write a character, Finn is the type of character I like to write. Someone who can be silly and irrelevant at times, and also serious and loyal and dedicated to his friends, allies, and family. And just being able to work with Jannah is amazing. It's a dream. We get to see Finn and Jannah immediately after episode 9, and then we also get to delve into that backstory and learn who they are, the choices they made, and why they became what they became.
That leads to a question about what happens to Lando. Lando is like at the end of Rise of Skywalker for those who don't remember, because you only watched it once or never. But
Seems
Lando
to be,
sits
yeah.
down with Jannah and is like, hey, let's help you find where you come from.
Right. It is
So-
interesting because we were kind of given a vague impression that
that's
is
Lando's
Lando's
daughter,
missing daughter.
Yeah, because he, in the book Shadows of the Sith, he lost his daughter and he's looking for her, and it is implied that that is Jannah, is his daughter.
I find it interesting that it's taking place immediately after, like right away.
Yeah.
They're not giving it a few years down the road. It's right away. What did these two go off and do? And I like that it's going to explore their backstory as stormtroopers and possibly who they were before going into the stormtrooper program. Where did they come
I don't think
from?
either. Well, yeah, where did they come from? Because both were, I think, very, very young, like
Conscripted, yeah.
babies, basically. That's kind of what is implied, that they're taken from a very young age.
This is also a new look at the galaxy and how the galaxy is going to be changing
Yeah.
post Sidious, I suppose.
Finally, yeah.
Now that he's finally gone,
Well, no
what-
one's
what's-
ever really gone.
it is going to show us, though, maybe a hint at what the galaxy is going to be like now that the final order has been destroyed, now that
Yeah.
the Empire is gone, the First Order
For
is
sure
gone.
this time.
Yeah, because they had remnants after the first time we thought they were gone. So now we get to see, is another evil rising up somewhere that we just never knew
Oh,
about,
boy.
that didn't exist? Is it coming out of the other galaxy that Dave Filoni made?
Oh, goodness.
We get to see what's coming. What is next?
I don't think we're going to see anything like that. I like your optimism, but I think it's going to be pretty, no offense, it's going to be a pretty generic story. I don't think it's going to give us too much. It's going to maybe give us some clues and hints, but I don't expect too much.
Mbalia does confirm other members of the Resistance are going to make an appearance, but that this is Finn and Jannah's connection with new characters, namely other stormtroopers, that are going to really be like the heart and soul of the book.
Okay.
What he says is, something about me is, I like a cast. I love a good cast of characters because it allows writers and authors to play off tension, conflict, and differences. Without giving away any spoilers, It's a great way to just show how even amongst troopers who are trained the same way, who eat the same way, and who are instructed to act and perform the same way, there are all differences, subtly, drastically, and they come into play. You really lean into them and play off them, so it's kind of just great to be able to have a big group of characters and explore a little bit more into their daily lives and the arguments they would get into, the fun things they would talk about, the after-mission debriefs that they would absolutely complain about.
I believe in Star Wars we have seen a time and place where everybody was kind of the same, but then developed their own personalities, and it was called the Clone Wars.
Right.
The Clone Troopers.
Well,
So not exactly a unique idea, but...
No, but he wants to showcase that there's more going on beneath the helmet.
Well, sure, that's what Clone Wars...
That's
one
what
of the
Clone
great
Wars
things
did
about Clone Wars is
wonderfully,
it did that, yeah.
But when you watch A New Hope and you see the stormtroopers, they're all just blank stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that seeing the First Order troopers, we're going to kind of see beneath the veil there just to kind of humanize some of them.
That's fine. I hope it's a good
just
book.
like they did in that prequel little story with Finn, and there was the other TK who was a little slower than the others, and
yeah,
there's some depth that they can afford to add, and I find that interesting.
Yeah, it gave a little backstory to the traitor stormtrooper. I can't remember his number off the top of my head, but he was actually in that story. I think they did that retroactively, but that's not the point.
TK something, he's dead.
It would be FN, but yeah.
Whatever, you're right, because they're all FN. They're all Finn, right?
They're all Finns, yes.
Now onto some really kind of random Star Wars type news. I know this is going to go off topic, but trust me, it's a circle. We know that Buffy the Vampire Slayer, yes, the sitcom. Supernatural show from like the 90s. It kind of was. There were sitcom elements to it. So yeah, you can't talk. There were some really good episodes. I kind of missed some of them.
It's not, I didn't watch it out of like, I just never watched it.
There's one episode where these creatures come to town and none of the characters can speak. There's no sound. And it is one of the most phenomenal episodes ever done.
Was it called Quiet Place?
No, they literally couldn't speak. It wasn't they weren't they were physically incapable.
I get you.
Okay, moving on. Okay.
Well, you were like all excited, like, Buffy's coming back.
I watched a lot of Buffy when I was a kid.
I am not surprised.
They're making a reboot.
Even though I didn't actually know that about you. This is the first time it's like a confession. Like,
well, I've told you I liked Sarah Michelle Gellar, and that's why I knew Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Seventh Sister. That's mainly, and from Cruel Intentions. Those are like the two things I know.
Yeah, I don't really know her from that.
Yeah, that was different from...
Okay, so let's get back to the topic at hand. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot. Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be training a new Slayer candidate to kind of pass the torch on, which is weird because at the end of the original series, though, she made it so that anyone with Slayer potential could be a Slayer. Because originally there was only one, and that one died, and a new one who had the potential would become the new Slayer. Like, that's when their powers would unlock, so to speak. She had kind of changed the way of things that instead of there just being one, and when that one dies, there's another one. She made it so that they could all fight. Why would just one when they could all fight?
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
But yeah, apparently they're going back to the one thing. I don't know what happened. They'll obviously explain why.
Putting together a team.
Yes. So Sarah Michelle Gellar will be training the new Buffy replacement, who is going to be Ryan Kira Armstrong from Skeleton Crew, Fern. So the circle is now even more complete than it ever was before because Sarah Michelle Gellar married Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes, Kanan.
Yeah. And she was also in Rebels.
Yeah, Seventh Sister.
Yes. And then now her new Buffy, her new trainee, is also from Star Wars.
Yes. It only makes sense, I suppose.
Yes, it's further cementing the obvious canon connections between Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Star Wars.
It's not... Again, I've never seen Buffy. No disrespect. I'm
There's
sure it's
a reason that the planet looked so much like Earth in Star Wars.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god! Don't start.
No, I just thought it was kind of a fun tidbit that the new Slayer that the Buffy reboot is going to be featuring is Fern from Skeleton Crew.
Can't
from Star Wars.
I ever heard of no Ad-Aden or vampires.
Can't say. Oh, I just think it's kind of cool. I mean,
yeah, no, it's cool.
She's 15. The show is supposed to come out next year. She's right around the right age because in the show it was always like she's a high school kid. Anyway. I just thought it was kind of cool. Now I want to watch some old Buffy.
I knew you were going to say that.
Especially because you've never seen it. I could cherry pick you out some of the best episodes.
I know very
There's
little
a little
about
like Scooby-Doo aspect to it.
Isn't there like a guy that she like loves and he's a vampire or something? And...
That's like season 1. Well, yeah, that's pretty much...
What's his name?
Angel.
Yeah,
he got his own spin-off later.
Show, right? Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I know some stuff.
Oh, that was tragic. I cried during those storylines.
Oh.
Cried.
Which one? Well, don't spoiler it for me.
I
If
don't
you're
want to
gonna
spoil it
make
for
me
anyone who
watch
hasn't
this.
seen Buffy. It's good stuff.
All right. I think that's going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think about the Star Wars news or
the
the
other
Buffy
Star Wars
news.
news.
Which one has you more excited? I think there's going to be a lot that say the Buffy news.
It's kind of quirky and
I
exciting.
get
in
this
its own
feeling
way.
there's a lot of Buffy fans out there who are probably like, Thor, you suck for not watching Buffy, and you're kind of I'm not making fun of it. I don't.
You
it's
shouldn't.
A show.
It was actually.
I'm sure it's fine,
Oh,
especially for the 90s.
I was thinking about the storyline when Buffy died.
Wow, spoilers.
It's okay. You'll get it.
How is she teaching? Yeah, she comes back because no one's ever really gone. More connections to Star Wars.
It's even more than you could ever imagine.
I can imagine quite a bit.
Oh, I want to spoil it for you so
Star
bad.
Wars too.
But I'm not going to until we turn the microphone off. So I don't spoil it for everybody else.
All right. Well, bye.